So in this episode, we just finished doing an amazing event, and you're going to see us debriefing what we got out of it, what were our lessons, what were our wins, and what do we want to leave behind, meaning we don't want anyone to carry regrets or anything home. So, unfortunately, we don't have the entire debrief, and I hope you get a lot of value of the piece you could see here.
Just thank you all for everything. I thought you guys were awesome. I could see your heart and your work and your effort, and thank you. I thought it was fantastic, man. Um, and I had that breakthrough at the last event and created like how smooth it could be, and I thought it really was. So you guys it was great. The only thing for me that could have been a lot better was Jase not being sick, and Betsy being able to hang around more. Otherwise, it was just really fantastic. So what I'd like to do on this is go over what we put at stake, what we got, and then talk about the numbers, where we are. We're not going to debrief what worked, what didn't work, and all that. We'll do that down the road. Tonight's about celebrating.
Perfect.
Cool. So I'll go first on mine. Event structure that will work and feel great, and I definitely got that. That feels so good. I really feel like when I got my presentation dialed in, like I knew it, and I feel like this event, we could just do this over and over and over and make consistent sales. And I think other people could step into different places. What do you guys knuckle bug?
Because that's exactly
It's successful.
how I designed this event. And we'll have very few changes to make to it in October.
That was an evil laugh.
I'm putting that out into the universe.
We will have very few changes to make. So yeah, I really, really felt like that. So thank you. And then what did we share at the other things? What did we learn or anything to be complete? I should have gone last. What else did we share at other team meetings?
We've done anything that we need to.
Oh, and then acknowledgements.
If we needed to clean up anything, and then acknowledgements. Yes.
Acknowledgements. Well, I should go last for that. I don't even need to be acknowledged. So who's next is...
Okay. No, we're gonna acknowledge you.
Well,
Really?
grab the
Come
mic.
on.
I know, but I shouldn't be
That
first.
acknowledgement means that they acknowledge or that you acknowledge?
No, so I'll start. Jase, I want to acknowledge you for first of all for the work that you did at the last event, because that did create the space for this event to be as successful as it was. I want to acknowledge you for your openness in allowing us to bring on team members that provided structures that would set you up for success, set us all up for success. And I acknowledge you for your vision for the future, because we're stepping into that, we're growing into that, and we have bumps along the way, we have growing pains, and we get to do it together. And I think we're going to just continue to get stronger and stronger and stronger, and you hold the space for that. So thank you.
Thank you. Whoosh. Thank you. I think, didn't we also share what we learned or take away or anything? It doesn't matter. I'm good. I'm complete with my share. Who would like to go next?
Hold on. Does anybody else want to acknowledge Jase? You just really want to get out of this space.
You didn't say it, but the other thing was, like, is there anything that you want to leave behind, to like that you weren't completely satisfied with or whatever?
Yeah. Having to complete an event and then have someone. I'd rather someone who's unhappy say something than not, and I'm disappointed that someone was unhappy. I wish we could have handled it during the event, so by the time the event was over, they were happy, they felt loved, they felt cared for, and we could just celebrate. So I want to leave that here.
Yes.
Or there.
Yes.
And then lessons, I guess we could do lessons. I really, Danella, you were great. It was great to bring you back. So good. Steve, you really contributed a ton. Thank you. I really feel like we have we're getting an A team together, that if we don't wait till September, if we begin working now on things, that I think we could get really a huge event in October and knock it. I really have this vision now. We start working this now, we could get a very A-level event in October. Huge.
How big's that
Awesome
room?
people. Huh?
How big's that room? 80?
Yeah, I mean theater. We could probably fit 80, a little cramped,
Okay.
and they have the other side too. So
Yeah.
anyway, I'm excited though.
He said
We don't have a mic.
comfortably.
60 comfortably, but I think he also uses tables a lot because they do a lot of internet stuff there. So I think that was great. I'm stoked. I'm excited. So thank you guys. Thank you. And then you two. I thought y'all were great. Like you really handled things really, really, really well. You were awesome. And then Sarah, it was super fun to finally get to work with you after all these years of knowing you. And I didn't see you in action much, meaning you were handling stuff, but I could just tell you were on it. Like I could just tell. Like I started back of Rome, and so I could read it, and you were just, I could tell you were popping in. And behind the camera, Braden, is that your first presentation? One of your first? Self from stage?
Sure. Yeah. I don't know what counts.
You don't know what counts? Well, it was a delight to have you here.
It was my favorite stage.
Is your what?
My favorite stage.
Awesome.
That was good answer.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this guy's good. First time I met him, I'm like, here's my idea for a podcast. He's like, and I'm like, is it really good? Or are you just selling me? Because you're really selling me. I bet you say that to all the podcasters. And then I think I get to pick who goes next, right? And then they'll share what they learned, what they want to leave here, and then we'll look at what you had at stake, and then wish you.
But that's right. You do choose.
Katie's next.
Okay, I learned a lot of hands coming together to make it work. You definitely need to delegate and to just trust in the team you have around you. That's huge. I was excited to have fun, and I definitely had fun. It was all just, hey, this is great. I'm just going with the flow, and I thought it was awesome. I loved talking with everyone that I met. And it's really cool to build your own community. That was fun to be a part of that. And what I'm leaving, I guess, is that communication. And I told you earlier, communication is key, and the good and the bad, and being able to just go with the flow. It's good. It's all good.
And you put at stake a better way of connecting with people, talking easily, and making more money while having fun.
I definitely had fun. I enjoyed doing this. I will do this again. And I look forward to creating that for myself, too, someday. So, yeah, that was awesome.
Awesome. Oh, who would like to acknowledge Katie?
I would like to.
Katie was always willing to do like she was running around, she would pick stuff up, she would take water, she would grab you something to drink, she would bring you something to eat. She was always asking, like, what do you need? How can I support? Always with a smile and always willing to help. And that at an event like I know Jase knows this, like, and I know Denali, you know it. I think most of you guys know it. Like, events can be really stressful if you want everything to go by the book and by like time stamps and like where people are sitting. It can get real stressful, and there's an art to like going with the flow and still having everything work. And you definitely were part of that, because all those little things add up and they create more stress or less stress. And it, like, your attitude was great, and you also filled in a lot of gaps that made the whole thing work.
Here.
I would just like to acknowledge Katie for being like an awesome roommate and just really a cool person to hang around with. And we had fun from the Walmart and the flight arriving till the last night dinner the whole time, and her tips on like lighting and looking good throughout the whole event were just awesome. So thank you.
Awesome.
I'll acknowledge you. What I found so remarkable about you, and actually you, but we'll get to you in a minute, is you were like seemingly everywhere and nowhere, all like concurrently, meaning you were handling everything quietly. You know, you'd like swoop in and swoop out and do whatever you needed to get done in just this kind of quiet way. And you were like omnipresent and getting it done. Thank you. You're welcome.
So, Katie, kind of echoes what the rest of the team is saying, in that you just kind of rolled with it. We created a plan, and then we were like, okay, wait, we're doing something different, and you just handled it with grace. And this is kind of dual acknowledgement in what I'm going to say next, in that when we're bringing on new team members, sometimes you have a power play where everybody's working together and there's ease and there's flow and everybody's just like on it. We're just going to take care of it and we're going to create an amazing event. Other times you get egos, you get, I want to be in charge, you get all these different things, and it creates a lot of friction on the team. And the two of you work together so beautifully, and I didn't have to like micromanage you. You owned your role in this event, and it just made the event an absolute delight. So I want to say thank you to both of you in that respect.
Yeah, and I'll say from doing a lot of events, when hospitality goes well, nobody notices.
Right.
When hospitality goes poorly, everyone gets upset because it's taking care of both a basic need as well as the most basic pleasure. So like, honestly, to have very little to say is because it just went so smoothly. There wasn't the day that we're waiting and the restaurant messed this up and this, like, if there were those things, which I'm sure there were over the course of the last 3 days, because it's impossible not to have 3 days of hospitality and have hiccups. You guys just handled it and like didn't make it more than it was, but made it all that it needed to be, which is quite a compliment.
How about a big whoosh? Whoosh. How about I set a 5-minute timer?
I don't know. I kind of like this. This is good.
Steve.
Okay, what are my rules?
So, what you learn, if there's anything you want to leave behind, and I don't remember if we didn't have something on the list for you to put steak, but I thought you did put
I did.
steak.
I remember that. Okay, so what I learned, the event was absolutely great. I've done hybrid events before, but this one felt different. Everybody in the room felt really like they were a part of the event, which I liked, different than having like 40 or 50 people that we were trying to talk to the event people, like talk to the room, talk to the Zoom. This one felt very cohesive, and neither side felt like they were competing. Like it just felt like everyone was kind of there hanging out, which I really liked. I also really liked, when things go really smoothly at an event, you don't learn anything. What I learned at this one, and not that things didn't go smoothly, but at the end with the last 2 hot seats, like you handled them really well. And like, that's always something I can learn to do better. So seeing like calling Anna out for, like, it was pretty funny. I was like, I'm glad he put the mic way down, and then they couldn't hear you. And you're like, oh, nobody heard me. But that was like
What?
when you were coaching Anna, and you were like, why are you muting yourself? And I was like, well, it's a good thing he put the mic down, but then they couldn't hear you. But it still got the effect. That, and then also handling, I also really like the way, I don't know. I asked myself this, like when Mark had the question about Polly, and you just handled it as like, you're not my client, but I'll still try to give you some value. I don't know very many people that would have said that from stage. And I really appreciate that. Like I was like, that's a really bold statement, but it 100% aligns with you. But you did not do it in a way that made him feel less valuable. You did it in a way that made him feel valued and cared about. And he was still highly engaged the rest of the time.
Good.
So that was like, there were moments like that. Like I learned from that stuff.
Why were those last 2 laser coaching ones?
Anna was great.
And it was great. And
Whew.
That one was rough.
But yeah, that other one was rough.
But you handled it really well.
Handled it well.
I've never been accused of being bored. So for those of you at home watching, we were doing laser scene. She's like, "Well, obviously you're bored with this question."
You handled it real well, and it actually brought the energy in the room back up because it created some drama, and people were like, "What's happening?"
What drama?
I might not have been bored, but it looked like some of the people on the screen were getting
Yeah.
Danella mentioned while we were having dinner that how awesome though that she spoke up instead of thinking that and going home and feeling like no one cared about her. She said her piece, and then you handled it really well. Like, you know, that takes a lot. Some people would get really frustrated with that.
Cool.
Thank you.
Something that I want to leave behind. I feel like the event went really, really well. I always try to learn and grow from them. I don't have anything that I felt negative, or I don't think there was anything that I want to leave behind. The intention that I set at the beginning, that was the last one, right? It wasn't intention, you had a different term for it.
put at stake.
Yeah.
What did I put at stake? I said that I wanted to learn how to support people and be comfortable not needing to be in the spotlight. Like, it's always an interesting balance, right? Like, I need to be high energy, I need to impact people, and I need to fade away so that Jase can shine, or so that the speakers can shine. I feel like I accomplished that. I will take any feedback if you have any. I feel like I did well. I don't know if you have any feedback or thoughts.
So a couple things. Culturally, we don't do feedback for 24 hours.
Okay, got it.
This is celebration time. We do feedback later.
Perfect.
I will say this though, and I'll do this in the context of acknowledging you. You're great, and you said things and brought things to the table as the MC. You know, I've been doing this a while. There's part of me is like, I feel like I know it all, seen it all, whatever. And I was like, oh, there is stuff to learn from what he's doing. It was really great. And I don't know who I was saying this. Well, just like talking to Sarah about, I could tell she's a pro. You could tell you're a pro, and you're just on top of things, and everything from the night before when you're like, do you want to do some breathing exercises, to like this morning when I wanted to get up early. I got up early for some reason. I wanted to go to the waffle place, and you're like, oh, you can take the shower first. To like, just anytime I needed anything, you were on it. And that's the mark of a pro in a seminar room. Just total selfless service for the pursuit of the event.
Yeah. I mean, I want you to shine as bright as you possibly can. And that's all of our jobs. But it's like I'm like, how I always ask, like, how can I specifically do that?
And you did that. You were
Thanks.
really great with it. Talk about shiny. Your suits are amazing. And your belt buckles are better.
That jacket. I want the jacket.
They're just going to start chasing you.
Yeah.
So what I learned, God, I learned so much. Having been at Danella's hybrid event as an attendee, and now being in the back, it was like all the things that go on that you don't see as an attendee. It was amazing. So that was, yeah, just seeing how everything just happens, like, you know, before everything just happened, and seeing all the things that go on. So I learned, I had no idea, like, all the stuff and all the communications and the running around. That was just really fascinating. And the other thing that I learned that I really appreciated learning was the conversation last night after the offer about who's prospect and all, because that I'd never seen before. And that just, you know, and to me, it's like magic. Oh, you just, you know, close them and they sign up. And so that was really incredible. And it just really showed me the value of a team, because, you know, if you're by yourself, it's your opinion. You don't know all that other stuff. So having someone else makes a huge difference. So that's what I learned. What I left behind is, I guess, just like expectations, like that this will happen this way or this will happen this way. It's like, just go with the flow and it'll work out, and just trust, you know, if this, you know, wherever you go, it'll be fine. So that was something that I left behind. Not what.
So it's more, if there's anything in your performance or something that happened that you're incomplete with, we don't want you to leave with incompletions. Yeah. So it's more from that. It's less would you leave behind as a lesson, but more if there's, and there might not be anything.
Not really. I guess it was just my expectations, like not getting freaked out that DoorDash is coming in 2 orders because nobody else noticed. So I learned, okay, just stay calm, it'll work out, and everybody will get fed. So that kind of stuff. So, and Danella's always said how you don't notice all the things that go wrong, and it's like, things are going to go wrong, just deal with it. So that was something I was like, I'm leaving behind the fact that I don't have to stress over it. Things will just go well. Just I'm let them go.
Awesome.
And can you remind me? I remember it ends with
Yes, I'm looking it up right here.
I think it was connections, money blocks, and what are possible.
Deeper connections, release all the money blocks. What are possible?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I definitely feel like I achieved that. I made some great connections. Had good conversation with Robert about retreat. The people live in the studio, just happy to get to know everyone better. And money blocks, I think having that discussion about people was very valuable. And then even some of the things, just listening to you talk to people, I just realized, okay, I still have that. Let's get rid of that. So that helped. And, the what are possible, like Braden was a pleasant surprise. I'm thinking about a podcast now, which was awesome. I was not even thinking about that before. And I loved meeting people I had not met before. Joanne, I had not met before. That was great. And, it's just, I see a future where I can be doing one of these events and have a big team somewhere down the road. And that's really exciting.
Oh, that's music to my ears. That's awesome. Would anybody like to acknowledge Lori?
I would be happy to, because you so seamlessly and quietly as well. I mean, there was a similarity between you and Katie. It just handled all the sort of catering and the food just arrived, and I'd ask you, like, when's the food arriving? And you're like, I don't really know, sometime between 12:15 and 12:45. But you always knew the answer. And that's a big part of it, is you're having a beat on it. And you just took such good care of us. And such a big part of events is the team being taken care of. And so we don't have to worry about where the next meal is coming from. Strong, baby. And where, and if there's water and if there's treats or whatever, that they're just there. And so we can focus on making it the best experience for the attendees, and then also, helping people step into the next step for themselves.
It was really fun to get to know you, because we've slept together once before, but
Once.
I know, just once. And so,
It's a PG rated
oh yeah, that.
podcast.
No. we I really loved chatting with you last night and getting to know you better and knowing your heart. And you have a brilliant brain, and to manage all of what with this event going on and with what you're working on yourself, and your heart is so open. And I loved watching you, how you're like so friendly with everyone and really getting to know people. Like you said, you wanted to communicate better and better connections, and watching you do all that and feel pretty crappy. And that didn't show. You just were on it, and you really stepped in. I loved it. It was great.
You were feeling crappy? You definitely did not show it.
No, I did.
And I hope you're doing okay. I would have no clue. That's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of said it before when I was talking about hospitality. I mean, you guys were just an amazing, cohesive team, whether you were handling something together or handling something separate. And it isn't easy to step in and do something you've not done before and not really get it. And, you were at the same venue in a different role not that long ago. So you took from that, the difference in how Jase likes to do things or how Natalie likes to do things. And, you have continued to impress me in the time that I have known you, that you have always been one to like observe, see what's on the other side of it, and then you just do it. And like, it's showing up in your business, it's showing up in your coaching, it's just showing up in everything that you do. And it's really been a joy to watch, not just this event, but the last several months of working with you as well.
I just want to acknowledge you that I remember, I think it was the first meal, you were like freaked out because it was coming in 2 different orders. And I was like, man, she actually cares about taking care of us, which is really nice. Because normally it's kind of every man for himself. And like maybe you find a candy bar or like an apple you can eat in a corner for 5 minutes. But
Over the trash.
yeah, like everything was really well taken care of and your attitude was great. And there was more than once I was like, man, she's like, you're holding it together. I would be like curled up in a corner somewhere. So I know you weren't feeling the best, and we would have never known other than the coughing. But we were all on that same cruise together. So
Yeah. So yeah, Lori, just what everybody has been saying. I just want to piggyback on that. Like, yes, it's an impact your business and everything that you set your mind to, like you're gonna accomplish it because that's what you're continue to show day in and day out. So I just want to echo that for you, for your life, for your visions, for everything that matters to you. You got it, Lori.
I heard you say something the other day. Like I heard it like when you said, "I am Doctor Lori."
Yeah.
yes.
And there's so many people like I'm Doctor whatever, and it's so like yuck. But when you said it, it was really like, no, I'm owning who I am.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't an amp.
Yeah, I've been working with Rich Kozak on Brandon. He kept telling me to call doctor, and I'm like, I don't know. And then actually, when I was over at David Vance's event, one of his coaches there was like talking to us. This guy worked for Tony Robbins, and I asked him too. He was like, "Of course you should use it." So I finally said, "All right, I'm just going to own it and use it." So but it actually felt okay because I always felt like sometimes people they want you to call him Doctor So and So all the time, and it does feel kind of icky, but it felt okay.
You earned it.
Thank you.
Never leave out a graduate degree. All I'm saying.
I was just going to acknowledge you for your grit. I know you didn't feel the best, and I never want to put somebody in a position where they feel like if you're really sick, then you need to stay home or go back to the hotel and take care of yourself. Don't put yourself at jeopardy. And at the same time, if you have a little sniffle, we can probably still do our job. And you just did that. And that's something that I haven't seen in the healthcare industry. It's taken to the extreme where nobody takes care of themselves because, we have to take care of the other people, right? And anyways. And then I've seen the other extreme where you have a hiccup and we can't work for 3 days. Right. And so. Oh, really?
I skipped all the people on the street when we walked by. And
anyways, I just want to acknowledge your commitment to the team, to keep your word, to do what you said you were going to do. And just to show up the way you did. I just really appreciate that. So thank you.
Thanks for joining me today on To the Promised Land podcast. If you're ready to grow your impact, master your message, and become the kind of speaker people can't ignore, head on over to our website, to thepromisedlandpodcast.com. That's where the real transformation begins. The links are all in the description.